Hello everybody in YouTube land. It has been a while again, and guess what? I am back in Dallas, back at the Adams Mark. I got here yesterday, and I get to go back home on Thursday. I'm only going to be here half a day on Thursday, and so I get to leave right after lunch, which means I get home at 4:45 p.m. rather than 9:30 p.m. And how excited am I? Very excited. But yeah, things are going well so far. It's it is what it is. I've got to tell you about last time I was here, which would have been last week. There was a convention going on, and it was a beauty convention, and insanity reigns at beauty conventions, especially here in Dallas. It's all about big hair and lots of makeup. And the funny thing was that they all look the same. And okay, let me back up. So it looked like there was this convention, and all these ladies who sold this type of beauty product, beauty something, excuse me, were attending this, and it reminded me of, kind of reminded me of high school, because do you remember in high school? I don't know if you guys had this, but at my high school, at homecoming, especially for football, the PTA or the cheerleaders or somebody, Kayets, I think it was, I don't know, sold these huge corsages, and they were like, I don't know, like this big. They were mums. Do you remember that? Do you guys have those? It was this huge mum right on these ladies' chests, and it had like a gold football, and then it would have like, I don't know, something that said 92, which was my graduation year. But they were hideous, and they were very large. Did you hear that boom? Like that. Yeah, that's my laptop telling me that a wireless network is found. Click to connect to a wireless network. I do not want to click to a wireless network. And I'm on like a cable line anyway, so I don't know why it keeps doing that. Anyway, back to the mums. They were hideous. Well, these ladies here at this beauty convention were wearing these. They weren't mums, but on their on the waist, they had these ribbons, and I guess there were some awards that they, probably for selling most product, but they would have like those big ribbons like that, and then it had like the ribbon down. Yeah, they would wear like 5 of those or 7 of those on their hips. I don't know what they were thinking. And then all of the ladies with blonde hair, they all looked the same. Anyway, they all looked the same. They're like the sorority type. Nothing against sorority types, but they have that sorority type, and they had the same kind of makeup, and none of them really smiled, so they didn't look very pretty anyway. Yeah, and I remember that in college. All of the sororities, they all just kind of had the same facial features, and I don't know if it was the makeup or what, but the exact same kind of makeup, the matted face, and they would never smile. So what's the point of putting on makeup if you're not going to smile? It doesn't make you look any prettier. In fact, it just makes it look like that you're not smiling very well. But so they were walking around, and then they had those, and then they had the ladies who sold makeup too, and I was trying to figure out how were they selling so much makeup? Because I can at least understand ladies look pretty, but then there were a couple of them, and nothing against ladies that aren't as attractive as others, but I don't know. I'm digging myself into a hole, aren't I? But it was insane. So this week is a little bit calmer, and it is 7:52, almost 8 o'clock, and I'm done. I just got back from the gym, and it's so nice to be done early. So remember about landmark things. So I'm going to give you a couple little insider information about landmark. So the company I work for. See, I'm talking really quiet in case somebody hears me, and there's nobody around to hear me. And if they're watching this, well. But the company I work for is very much into Landmark, and if you don't know what Landmark is, they promote it as like a self-improvement, though kind of thing. And the company I work for takes up. It really is based on the Landmark model. And they pay to go, and they pay each new employee to go to the Landmark Forum, is what it's called. And so the company pays for it, and then each course after that the company pays half of it, and they pay for your day off, whatever. So I did go to the Landmark Forum, and I have to speak very carefully here. The people who really benefited from Landmark were the people who had really horrible pasts, because it part of it talked about your past should not define who you are. So if you have this past, the possibilities of your future are endless. Something very similar to that. But then it got into let's just leave it at that. But one of the things we do before our workshops is they're called B-Withs. And B-Withs, I've been familiar with B-Withs because in college at my grad school, or not grad school, but undergrad, it was a way for actors, to really connect with each other. And you'd stand, a couple feet apart, and you would look directly in the other actor's eyes, and it was to make that connection before you go on stage, so that you feel that your character is connected to their character, whatever. They do the same thing here, only they're looking into your soul, and they're looking at the God within. What? I know. They pretty much believe that everybody is their own personal God, which I don't quite agree with that. But when you're doing these be-withs, you look into the other person's eyes and you connect with the God within, looking deeply into their soul. Yeah, that's just one of the things. Kind of eerie, And they believe that life is empty and meaningless. Something I don't quite agree with. And they say that it's empty and meaningless, that life is empty and meaningless. And absolute truths, like right or wrong, don't exist. We put that meaning on them. So if we do something, it's not a right or wrong in itself, we just make it mean something. So those are just a couple of things that I don't agree with. So that's a little inside information. And the people who responded either didn't know anything about Landmark, or they said, run away. And one person even said, run away from the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. There shall be no drinking of the Kool-Aid here. So that's what's going on. And I think that's about it for now. I'm going to get something to eat, and I've got a couple things done. And then I may just sit down and watch TV for a couple of hours. Imagine that. Okay, guys, I will talk to you soon.